Madam Toastmaster, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. There are over 1 million nerve endings in and on our bodies. The main purpose for these nerve endings is to communicate externally, our external world to our brain. So, in other words, our nerve endings are basically the traffic ways for our brains to receive information from the external world. Quick question. How many of you have ever stubbed a toe? All right. How many of you have ever sprained an ankle? Wow, some injury-prone people in here. How many of you have ever broken a bone? All right. I have done all of those things. And those things are what I call external pain. Those are caused by external problems. You trip, it's an external problem. And you break something. But what I want to talk about tonight is not an external problem, but an internal problem. It's a problem that affects the heart. It's a problem that can create discouragement, create despair, depression. It's a pain that causes sleepless nights and endless days. This pain is an internal pain. Why do I want to talk about an internal pain? I'll tell you why. Because many of us today are suffering from internal pain. But we're trying to solve our internal pain with external comfort. I'll give you an example. In that example we talked about earlier about someone breaking their leg, right? How many of you all broke your leg again? All right, broke a bone. All right, a lot of you broke your bones. Let's say, for example, that you have a doctor. Let's call him Dr. Quack. Quack, quack. Dr. Quack has discovered that we've all broken our legs. And we've come before Dr. Quack. And Dr. Quack has said, you know what? I have a different method for treating broken bones now. No longer do we set bones and put them in casts. Not with Dr. Quack. What we're going to do is we're going to write a prescription. A prescription for 12 weeks of pain medication. And you can take it whenever you want. So after meeting with Dr. Quack, we go home for 12 weeks and we ingest the pain medication for 12 weeks. Now for those of you who've broken a bone, what's going to happen? Our bones are not going to heal. They're not going to set properly. If they do not set properly, we're going to have to do what? You're going to have to break them and reset them again because we didn't put them in a cast. What's my point for saying this? My point for saying this is Dr. Quack tried to solve an external problem with an internal solution. And oftentimes that's what we do. Whenever we're faced with that internal pain, whenever we're faced with that situation that's overwhelming, that causes heartache, what do? I turn to a half-gallon of ice cream. What about you?
Yeah.
Hey, I got amen over there. I feel like I'm preaching. But the unfortunate thing about turning to an external solution for an internal problem is you have to keep turning to it again and again and again. And like in our example, the pain medication, it helps with the pain, but it doesn't deal with the problem. And if we turn to that half-gallon of ice cream, it tastes great, feels good, but it doesn't solve the problem. So what do? Do we continue seeking external solutions for internal problems and develop addictions like drug addiction and alcoholism, sex addiction? Ooh, am I supposed to say that? Oh, no. Sex addiction, food addiction. Are we going to allow those external things to exert themselves on our internal problems? Think about it. There are millions of people all over this country who are suffering with internal pain caused by internal problems. I was one of those persons. 3 years ago, I was in so much pain, I didn't want to wake up. I wanted to stay in bed all day long. You know why I wanted to stay in all day long? Because I lost about $250,000. $250,000. That's more money than most people make in their lives. And I lost it. And I was depressed. I had pain in my heart. But at that time, I didn't know how to handle the internal pain. So what I would do, I would wake up every day, and I would go to Publix, and I would get 6 donuts every day. It's really sad when you know the name of your baker. It's really sad. And that's where I was. Sometimes the 6 donuts wasn't enough. I drive up Fruitville Road to Durango's. Anybody ever been to Durango's Steakhouse? 11 o'clock, that's when they open. You know how I know that? Because the internal pain was pushing me there. Because the internal pain, I had no solution to the internal problem. I had to go there. I had to get something to eat, something to make me feel better. So I eat a 16-ounce prime rib steak. Sometimes every day. I'd go home, I'd order a pizza, I'd eat the entire pizza. Cheese lovers from Pizza Hut, by the way. They're pretty good. I would order that. 2 heaping slices of cake. That's what I would do every day. The pain was unbearable. I didn't know what to do until one day I fell on my knees and I cried out, I need help. God, please help me. Help me with this. And he answered. And he gave me the solution for my internal pain. It was the love of God. And it was that love that helped me to realize that life is more than solving your internal pain with an external solution. Sometimes we turn to friends, sometimes we turn to loved ones. But I hold that we must turn to a higher power, someone or something, whomever you believe, if you believe, if you don't. But there's someone, there's something out there that can make a difference for your internal pain. And I invite you to turn and do that, fellow Toastmasters.